Now, after the dust settled yesterday in Daniel, I had a young gentleman who has lived in Daniel, who has family in Daniel, and who was at the Hogs for Hope yesterday. He reached out to me late last night, more of the Daniel side of the story as to what happened yesterday and why. Meaning, why all those trucks and why those two big cattle trucks in front of the Green River Bar. Take a listen.
The reason why everybody banded together and made that choice is because everybody was on edge. The amount of death threats and craziness that were coming through, and then you've got this protest coming into town. A lot of people were concerned, even while I was sitting with my family on the edge, and even when I was sitting on top of my car. I mean, I had to tell my cousins, all my younger cousins, it's like, listen, if any shots pop off or anything, you need to go to the back of the house, because we were unsure of the whole situation. Don't get me wrong, the main dude, he wanted it to be peaceful. He had the intention of it being peaceful, but you know as well as I know, people can be very, very disgusting, and the fact that it was open for anybody to join, that's what concerned a lot of us too, is the fact that it was just anybody that wanted to come through.
Another important question I think to ask was, is he okay with the current laws there in Wyoming when it comes to wildlife?
Do you agree that laws should be changed? I do agree there should have been a way more heinous punishment.
Was it okay that, so far at least, there are no other charges?
I feel like those charges should be changed in the future, and anybody who commits an act like that should be charged.
Of course, Cody Roberts came up, and I asked him, did he think that $250 citation from the Game and Fish Department was enough?
I do not condone and I do not excuse his actions. Charging Cody in particular, it may not have been through the law system, but I think anybody who's got their kids at risk in a situation like that, I really do think that he has learned his lesson. I will also say, nobody deserves the amount of death threats and the amount of craziness that ensued afterwards from the public. He had to take his kids out of his school, or out of their school, because they're even threatening to kill the kids. His wife lost his job. I mean, even at the bar, they had to disconnect their phone because of the amount of calls and hate that they were getting on their line.
Then, of course, there was that dead coyote found on the side of the road with its mouth taped shut with duct tape. What were his thoughts about that?
That coyote, not anybody that I know, not friends or family, none of us were even okay with that, because all that does is add fuel to the fire.